to go. One last one at the world famous. Can we do it? How the hell are your nerves holding up? Let me know. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you are doing well, and welcome to the build-up. And this one feels huge for Forest versus Arsenal, the final game at the City ground, where 1 point may be enough to guarantee our safety if results go our way. But at the same time, if Forest lose, they could end up back in the bottom three. This one is making me nervous, and the build-up starts today. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the Forest team, the Arsenal team, the permutations. But before we do all that, as always, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you're new here. And don't forget, you've got till 7:30 to go and grab your tickets to win that beautifully signed Forest home kit. Is it the last time we see that this season? I think so, because Crystal Palace play blue and red, so probably. So make sure you go and grab your tickets. There's only a few of those left. All right, guys, let's get into this. And you're going to see something different. For all you jinxerines out there, this is going to be tough to do, but I'm going to do it so that no blame can fall on my lap. Let's jump in. Okay, let's start with the permutations of this. If Forest get a point against Arsenal, and both Leeds and Leicester lose to Newcastle and, God, who have Leeds got? Wolves or whatever it is, respectively, then Forest are officially on the beach. Officially, no more Wolverine beaches, no more Copacabana beaches, no more nothing. It's an official beach. Towels are coming out. The sun cream's coming out. The ice creams are coming out. The cold drinks are coming out. We're going to have a hell of a party. But if Forest lose and both those teams win, as I mentioned in the intro, then we are in serious trouble. And that's the bit that worries me. I don't know if you guys are feeling optimistic, pessimistic, realistic, delusionalistic. That's probably not even a word. But let me know down in the comments below. And I'm going to talk you through the predicted team. And I've put a lot of thought into this one, and it's played on my mind. Is it a back four? Is it a back five? Does Jono come back in or not? So let's jump across and have a look at the Forest team that I've gone with for this game. So if we bring this up, I've gone with the back four. I don't feel he's going to go with the back four. I think every instinct in Cooper is going to say go back five. But if he goes back five, I don't think he can leave Jono out for 2 games in a row. Just my feeling on this. He had to sit Jono down, talk to him before the match and explain the reasonings. I don't think it's going to be back to back. And if he is going to put Jono in and go to a back five, it means he's got to drop someone else, obviously. So you're looking at Awoniyi. Would he drop him? No, he's in hot form right now. MG Dub? No, because he's going to be the link play between the midfield and the attack. Is he going to drop Yates? Yates is probably the candidate to be dropped because he did against Brighton go 5-2-1-2. So if anyone's going to be dropped, it might be him, because Mangala and Danilo played that too and they held it. But that was against Brighton, and this is against Arsenal. And that's why I don't think Cooper will go to a mid 2, even if he went 5 at the back. If he did go 5 at the back, the only real person you can see being dropped, in all honesty, is probably going to be Jono again. But I just don't see it. I still hold firm with my belief that Niakate, Felipe, Aurier and Lodi are a solid, minimal mid-table defence. That can be a match for most teams. But Arsenal got hella attackers, and we'll come on to those in a minute. This could be a great game for Danilo. Danilo, remember, scouted heavily by Arsenal, linked heavily to Arsenal not too long ago. And this is the club that didn't buy him, and Forest got him. So he really should be fired up for this game. In terms of Yates, I would play Yates. I haven't been too impressed with him in the last game or so, but I put that down to match fitness and match sharpness. Feel his passing was a little off, but at the City ground, with the fans, with the atmosphere, with what's on the line, he's the kind of player you really need in this game. So I would start Yates. And Mangala, for me, has been doing a better job in that position than the likes of Freuler or Shelvey. So I would stick with him. Again, I didn't think he had his best game, but again, in our previous match against Chelsea, but I think this 3 could work. I like this team. I like the balance of this team. The only place I find the imbalance is Morgan Gibbs-White going out onto the left. I still would like to see him more in the number 10, but at the City ground, he always seems to perform a lot better than he does away from home. So for me, this would be the team I go with. Now, is it dangerous to do this? Yes. Against the opposition like Arsenal, it could be costly. But at the same time, you could go with a back 5. It doesn't matter. Arsenal, if they're on their game, if they can break you down, they will break you down regardless. We were a back 5 when we went away to the Emirates. I was there, man. Yes, it was a completely different team, a completely, early part of the season as well. But we were at 6s and 7s, man. It was not a pretty performance. But now I feel there's a little more cohesion amongst the team. Yes, we're still playing low block. Yes, the tactics are still negative. But the players seem to understand each other a little better. And I would like to see for the last couple of games, this and the Palace game, this same team put out just for consistency. So the cohesion, those passing patterns and everything like that becomes more and more natural to them. But I'm not convinced he doesn't go to a back 5. I still think back 5 is probably ideal for this game because Cooper wants 1 point out of this. 1 point could be enough. And against Arsenal, it is going to be low block football. What do you guys think? I think this is an interesting topic of debate. Will it be back 4 or back 5? Let me know in the comments below. And if you think it's a back 5, who's going to get dropped? Will it be Jono again? Let me know. Okay, let's move this into the Arsenal team. Now, a lot has been said about Arsenal this week. Bottle job this, bottle job that, blowing a 8-point lead or whatever it was. And now, like down and out. I'm not so convinced. And this is where the jinx are in, right, guys? I'm going to do it. I'll big them up. There's certain players in this Arsenal team who I don't think are good enough to be in this Arsenal team. But hey, no blame can come my way now, so you heard it here first. Look, joking aside, that front 4 is very, very good. And I will say this about Saka, and don't shoot the messenger, he's been off form for the last few weeks. Even the Arsenal fans have started complaining about him. He's still a quality player though. He can turn it back on like that. Now, will he be rested for this game is the question. There could be an instance where there's a few of these players who are nursing some injuries who are plastered up just to get them through while they were still in the title race. Now that it's officially all but mathematically over, potentially you could see some players rested. Maybe Saka's rested. I think Trossard definitely comes in for this game. You could see a little change, like they went with Jorginho and Xhaka in their previous game, but you could see Partey come in. I don't think he's injured, but he hasn't been playing for the last couple of games. So you could see that Partey destroyed us when we went to the Emirates, and I probably wouldn't be surprised to see him play. The other one who should be dropped is I'll call him White, not the other name, because he's not been performing well. He was really bad against Brighton. And if Tomiyasu's fit, potentially he could come in for right back for him. He's been out of favour pretty much the whole of this season for Arsenal. And of course, Saliba is out injured, which is a key injury. He's a fantastic defender. And they're plastering that at the moment. Look, I'm not Gabriel's biggest fan. I think he does have a mistake in him. I remember in the first game earlier on in the season, he gave away a guillotine chance to Jesse Lingard, who did absolutely nothing with it. So I do feel there's a mistake with him. And I do feel there's a couple of mistakes in Ramsdale as well. He does make a few worldies, but he's a bit Navas-like, can have a couple of clangers, especially when it comes to his distribution as of late. Tyranny will come in because Zinchenko is ruled out. So I think it's definitely going to be the same system. What you get with Arsenal is always that beautiful 4-2-3-1 that I admire and love so much. But it's just the personnel. And this is where I think Forest need to get to. A formation has to be set and set in stone. And then players come in and out that formation and it becomes seamless, like you've seen for most of this season with Arsenal. So until we get to that stage, it still means that Cooper's in experimental mode with it. And in terms of Jesus, coming from Man City, not been prolific in terms of his goal scoring form. However, he's very, very good at linking up the play, coming in a little deeper, picking up the ball in the pockets, getting the likes of Saka, Martinelli when he was fit into the play. But goal scoring wise, he hasn't been that 20 goal a man player for them this season. But for me, the standout player, the player I like the most, and he has the number 8, is Odegaard. Odegaard, I scouted him back in the day when he was at Real. Fantastic player. Came to Arsenal, captain of Arsenal now. He can blow hot and cold sometimes. He's definitely really good at the Emirates. Picked up a really nice goal against Newcastle the other week. He pulls the strings in that midfield, in that number 10 role. He is one of the best in the Premier League, in my opinion. So overall, this team is scary looking, man. Especially that front four. I think they will look for improvements in the summer, the likes of Declan Rice, Xado being linked to Arsenal in the last week. They're definitely looking for CMs that can further enhance that position. I don't know if I'm helping or fearing you guys now. I'm bigging them up, man, but you guys asked for it. You don't want me to cuss them down? Fine. But when I big them up, it's probably scared you even more. If it has, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so let's talk about exactly what could happen in this game, because there's a lot of scenarios. I've played them out in my head. I'm sure you guys have as well. In terms of Arsenal's mentality, there's been so much talk about have their head dropped. Are they dropped? Are they in the mud? Have they given up? Is their season over? What have they got to play for? The answer to all of those is probably yes, and they have nothing left to play for at all. But they may be wounded animals. Arsenal tend to bounce back really well from defeat. Yes, they did go on that draw streak after the Liverpool match, drawing with, I think, West Ham and then Southampton. But more times than not this season, when they face defeat, they bounce back the next game. However, is this a step too late for them in terms of what is the point? And after all, Arsenal, for those Arsenal fans watching, don't forget you owe us a favour. We were the last team to take points off City. We did you a favour in that week where you were messing up. We sorted you out and took 2 points off City for you. So you owe us one. In my opinion, you owe us 3, if you know what I mean. But the point here is very simple. It doesn't matter what mindset Arsenal come in. Man City came in with their usual mindset at the City ground, and we were able to hold them. Newcastle came in and were very lucky to sneak a penalty from a Niakate mistake very late on in the game. For me, the most important thing about this game is the fans and the atmosphere and the noise and the cauldron. And yes, I use the word cauldron because that's what it needs to be. We need to be so up for this game. We need to send positive vibes to the team. We need to back them and push them all the way because we are this close. And in my honest opinion, as crazy as it sounds, I think Forest have more chance in this game than I do in the Palace game, because Palace are playing some fantastic football, and of course, we are away from home. And let's be straight, our away foam has been atrocious. So, if Forest can keep their heads, if Forest keep calm, if the crowd, well, not if, when the crowd are going to be buzzing, the noise, the atmosphere, the support, it sets everything up for some kind of result. Look, am I going to go as far to say that Forest will win? No. But if you ask my heart, I do feel it's going to happen, especially as it's my little boy's birthday on the Monday. And he's a diehard Arsenal fan, and to make him cry on his birthday would be a hell of an achievement for me. God, I'm a horrible dad. But the point here is, let's start with 1 point, and if it develops into 3, so be it. I would quite happily have the same feeling after this match that I had after the Chelsea match, where I felt disappointed with a point because I felt that the win was on the cards. What I do not want more than anything is to need something going into that Crystal Palace match, even if it's a point. It's just going to be horrific because we will be away from home and our contenders, all 3 of them, will be playing at home. It's just typical Forest luck, isn't it? But Forest tend to do things the hard way. I'm sure There's loads of you who are older or younger than me in the chat. We've all got our heartbreak Forest stories. But I just hope and I feel that this one could be a happy ending. Famous last words, jinxerine, I don't know. I'm going with a 1-1 draw. Give me that 1-1 draw. Put us on 35 points. And we may on Monday night be celebrating another season in the Premier League. Get your score predictions in. Please don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to FFTV if you're new here. And remember, you've only got till 7:30 tonight to grab yourself a ticket for the signed home kit. We've got some really good content coming out. There's still more build-up coming. So stay tuned in at Forest Fan TV and you'll see what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the rest of the build-up videos, and there's going to be a lot more. Come on, you Reds.